Welcome in once again to Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. Hope everybody out there is having a great week. Recording this on a Wednesday night, so if you're watching on Wednesday, hope you're having a great Wednesday evening. If you're watching on another day, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. What I want to talk about here is another Tush Push update from Roger Goodell, NFL Commissioner, and ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter. Obviously, last week at the NFL owners' meetings in Palm Beach, Florida, this was the topic of conversation around the NFL. There was supposed to be a vote, and then that vote and the discussion got tabled because 16 owners voted for this play to continue to be legal in the NFL. 16 owners voted for it to be banished from the NFL. The Green Bay Packers going into the NFL Combine, this really started to gather a lot of momentum then, pitched a proposal to the NFL to take the play away, to make it illegal, citing safety concerns and pace of play issues. And in order for that vote to get passed, 24 owners among the 32 owners in the NFL had to vote yes to make this play illegal. And I think it's so funny how the Packers proposed this. It was all set for a vote at the NFL owners meetings. In the lead up to that vote, there were heated discussions. Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles explaining why they think this play should continue to be at their disposal in their playbook. Other teams across the NFL voicing their concerns, and it needed 24 votes in order for it to be deemed illegal, to be taken out of the National Football League. It did not get those required 24 votes. It was 8 short, yet still, there's a good possibility that this play will be voted on again. It will be further discussed. It got tabled until the next NFL meetings next month. And at that point, the NFL somehow, some way is probably going to work to find a way to convince those 8 owners across the NFL to vote yes on that ban to take this play away. And by now, you know my thoughts on this, right? The Eagles are the only team in the NFL that executes this play at an extremely high level. It is available for any team to use, yet they don't use it because they can't. Other teams don't have an offensive line as physical, as strong, and as talented as the Philadelphia Eagles. Other teams across the NFL don't have a very unique quarterback like Jalen Hurts who can squat a house and squat 500 to 600 pounds. What's also interesting is that the Packers cite safety concerns, yet the NFL conducted a study and it showed that this play didn't result in any injuries. What's also interesting is that the Eagles started running this play in 2022. They converted more than 90% of the time. This past year, they only converted about 81% of the time. So the league has been able to adapt to this play. They've done a better job in stopping it, yet teams are still jealous of Philadelphia's success rate with it, and I think that is a big driving factor behind why the Packers and other teams want this play taken out of the game. And I think it is so soft because football is about scheme. Football is about exploiting another team's weakness. Football is about catering to your strengths. Football is about coming up with creative ideas, scheme-wise, play designs, using your personnel to your advantage to try to win football games and execute any given play. The Eagles have been able to do that. Nick Sirianni started thinking about different iterations of the quarterback sneak several years ago when he was with the Colts, when he had Andrew Luck and Jacoby Brissett. And then in 2021, 2022, he started to experiment with this, and then the Eagles got it to a point where they mastered it. They worked very hard at it. It is a play that does require, on top of physicality and strength, timing and skill and reps to be able to beat the other team up at the line of scrimmage. There are so many nuances to this play, and what the Eagles have done, they've grown plays off of it. They've created plays off of it where you can run a little end around. You can run a little fake tush push and then throw a deep ball. We've seen the Eagles do all of that. And so I think this is a soft move from the NFL to try to take this play away. Roger Goodell thinks it's not an aesthetically pleasing play, but football is about physicality. Is the quarterback sneak an aesthetically pleasing play? If you're worried about safety, this play hasn't resulted in injuries. The NFL wants to cite that there are so many safety concerns with this play, yet there are catastrophic injury concerns on any given play at any level of football. And that's what's insane to me. Any player can get hurt at any point. And Sean McDermott, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, has been one of the biggest advocates for taking this play away. He ran the Tush Push the second most times in the NFL last year. In the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, they were 0 of 4. It's a big reason why they lost that game. And upon film study, Steve Spagnuolo realized that Josh Allen always takes the snap and goes to the left. What did the Chiefs do? Stacked up that side and stopped Josh Allen. And so to take this play away, I hate it. It's unique to the Eagles. It's unique to how this roster is constructed, and any other team can use it. Yet they don't because they can't. Don't take a play away just because one team has excelled with it. But Front Office Sports had a pretty good article up about a memo from Roger Goodell, and it goes as such. The influence of NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell will face a new test in the coming weeks as he seeks passage of 2 significant rule changes. Team owners last week tabled votes on 2 potentially impactful rule shifts: a ban on the much-debated tush push and a reseeding of playoff teams based strictly on regular season records. The first potential change was proposed by the Packers, the second by the Lions, but sources said Goodell is in favor of both and is now working to secure additional support. A possible tush push ban dominated chatter at last week's NFL annual meeting, and due in no small part to the Eagles' perfection of the accentuated quarterback sneak en route to a Super Bowl triumph. Owners are said to be split evenly on the issue, while opposition to the play has centered in large part on player safety concerns. No actual injuries were recorded last year from tush pushes. Instead, the real objection lies closer to aesthetic issues and a perceived similarity to a rugby play. Let me stop there. Jordan Mailata has a rugby background. He played rugby in Australia. He himself has said it's not a rugby play. Sean McVay said it's a rugby play. Well, hold on. The shotgun was introduced in the 1970s. That wasn't banned. Sean McVay has revolutionized offensive football with all the pre-snap motion and all of the movement that happens pre-snap leading up to the snap. Should that get banned? It's not a rugby play. Football is about physicality. The Eagles kick ass and they take names up front. More from Front Office Sports, and this is what Roger Goodell said last week. I think there are safety issues that are being considered in that case. We have very little data from it, but it's beyond data. There's also the mechanism of the injury that we study, that type of thing, that leads to us to show the risk involved with a particular play or a particular tackle. Goodell hinted at considering a return to pre-2004 rules when players were not allowed to push or pull a ball carrier. I also want to comment on that. People who are against the tush push have said, well, the defense can't push. The defense can sprint up to the line of scrimmage. So sometimes the force and the momentum of that is more than a push because the ball has to be snapped and then you push. You can time running up to the line of scrimmage and run full speed toward the line to try to stop this play. So all of these things are being made up in trying to ban this play, but none of it makes any sense. And this was voted on by the NFL owners. It did not get the 24 votes needed. That should automatically mean that since it didn't get 24 votes and it only got 16, this play should continue to be run. Safety concerns because players are exposed. Again, we're talking about football here. We're talking about players who are running 4.4s at 250 pounds full speed and highway-like collisions. Damar Hamlin didn't even get hit on a football play. He collapsed. There's risk on every play, especially at the NFL level, and that includes this. But it doesn't mean it's an unsafe play. Football is an unsafe game. So the commissioner also added there's great data to show that we should really look at some form of this. Whatever. He also called the Lions' proposal to reseed based upon record a healthy one. But there are some issues there too, like the revenue of a home game. The NFL could decide where if you win a division and you have a below 500 record, you can't host a playoff game. If you win a division and have an above 500 record, you can host that playoff game. So these are two pretty big seismic issues that are going to be revisited once again on May 20th, 21st in Minnesota at the next NFL meetings. Adam Schefter was also on a Dallas radio station on Wednesday morning, and he said this: I think the Tush Push is on the way out. I think when they table that, it's just a setup to get more votes to overturn it, change the language of it. I don't think you see the Tush Push in the NFL in 2025. That's unfortunate, but I am looking forward to seeing what new creative ideas the Eagles can come up with and them continuing to be dominant with just running a regular quarterback sneak. So wanted to give you an update there from the man who calls the shots in the NFL, Roger Goodell, as well as NFL insider Adam Schefter. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Great draft content to come out over the next several days throughout this end of the week. And then with the draft approaching, we're going to continue to give you great draft content and pass along the latest news, rumors, and analysis right here on Philadelphia Eagles Now.